Alright, so here I am playing the new update. It's officially been over 24 hours since the patch has been out. I've adapted to most of the changes. The most important change to the gameplay is playing the long range game and finding the spacing to charge ki. And then if you do have a Z-Burst dash, it's very important that you set up your Z-Burst dash. Previously, you could just do Z-Burst dash like willy-nilly because it doesn't matter if you got punished, because Z-Burst dashing was very punishable. But now it's like, okay, it costs a lot of resources. You do not want to waste your resources and also get punished for it. So it's more important that you set up your Z-Burst dash to be safe now, which is why characters with a strong ki blast are extremely strong this patch. A lot of people are saying, oh, there's no cheese, there's no cheese. There is a lot of cheese. If you watch a lot of the matches from my live stream yesterday, which, to be fair, if you don't watch it, it's okay because it's a freaking 8-hour live stream. But my viewers cheesed me, and it was okay that they did. We were studying the patch. And a lot of people are saying the cheese is gone. The cheese is not gone. If anything, the cheese could be much stronger in this patch. And that's fine. We'll find a way to get over it. But he put my Gohan in the blender. Let's see if I can put his Broly in the blender. Android 16 character spotlight now. I'm probably going to be maining Android 16 now. I might as well just do all new character spotlights now because the gameplay has changed dramatically since this new patch.
He just gets a super counter instantly. That's so bad.
Yeah, I've been really frustrated this whole stream because people have just been super countering me as soon as I touch them. But luckily, he lets me just put him in the blender this whole time. So, did he really get a super counter off instantly? No, not really. I was just frustrated overall. But I do feel like people have been super countering me way more often now. I don't know if that's just me. But if you guys feel that way, let me know. I asked my stream yesterday if they feel that way, and they said that, yeah, it feels like everyone's super countering more often, and they also feel like super counter gods themselves. So, yeah. I also feel like my super countering game has been a little more on point as well. And that kind of sucks, right? It mainly sucks because Z-Burst dashing was your main way to engage. But since they doubled the amount it costs, that means that halves, well, not halves, but like just about halves the amount of engagements you have. So that indirectly buffs super countering. If you get a super counter off, that means you just lessen the amount of engagements that you lost. So yeah. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, right? I'm just here. I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as I can. You guys know my opinion by now. There's no point in me expressing it further. I still love the game no matter what, you know? So I'm just here to tell you guys how I'm playing this game now. Once I have them engaged, I try not to knock them back in any form. I try to keep them there. I try, as you guys saw with my Android 16 versus Broly, I tried to keep him in the engagement at all times. If I do knock him back, it's to set up a key charge. But with Androids, you do not want to knock them back whatsoever. So you want to always keep close with them if you're an Android player. Unless you have full key gauge, and then you can just zone them out. But that's why I was saying Androids are so much stronger this patch, because it's become more important to set up a key charge, and it's become more important to have key, and Androids do not need to set up a key charge. Yeah, you could stall out Androids, and you could avoid them, but that's kind of a boring way to play. But regardless, they could close the distance with the new mechanic, so there's that. And also, I don't think people are going to be playing a full Android team. That would be pretty suboptimal. So, yeah, you could counter Androids, but Androids just play this game really well now. They already played the game really well, but I feel like they play it even better now. But you can see how I'm playing the zoning game. I just dash, charge, ki blast, dash, charge, ki blast. I still don't think the regular ki blasts are a very good long-range tool. They're a great close range tool. As you can see, that's what I'm doing. But I really do not throw out many regular ki blasts from long range. And I never did that to begin with anyway. because regular Ki Blasts, they have like a limited distance. So if you guys are far enough, it's not gonna hit them. The only people with good regular Ki Blasts are like the Frieza archetype characters. Frieza himself, Cooler, Metal Cooler, King Cold, those kinds of Ki Blasts. But I just think regular Ki Blasts are nearly a waste of Ki from long range because they're so easy to deflect. But I guess what you could do with regular Ki Blasts is that it'll bait people to move because it's very easy to deflect the Ki Blasts by moving around. So if they're moving around and you throw out a charged Ki Blast, the charged Ki Blast will hit them because you have to stand still to deflect the charged Ki Blast. So the utility of long range regular Ki Blasts is to just get your opponent to move around so you could bait them with a charged Ki Blast. And then if you have enough Ki, you could do a Z-Burst dash. So you could see, I understand it now. I am adapting. And False Courage is a very strong skill now. It's even stronger than before. The reason being is because you could just use False Courage and sit there and charge. Ki Blast will not stun you. So it's a good thing they made it cost 2 skill points, but its utility has greatly increased, I guess you could say. Its utility is a lot stronger now. Because like I said, you can't get zoned out with super armor, so you can just sit there and charge. So that inadvertently also buffs Giants and Broly, which I said all of this in my patch analysis. So I knew this. I saw the new meta coming from a mile away.
Oh my gosh.
And this guy rage quits.
Oh my gosh, bro.
This is funny because I was about to end my stream and I said, okay, before I end my stream, let's play one ranked match. And the first ranked match I get on is a rage quitter. I do feel like rage quitting is a lot more prevalent after this new update because people are just frustrated over the new mechanics. The reason why I was more so... The reason why I didn't really like the new update was because it's like a complete overhaul of the system. And I spent a lot of time adapting and getting good at the old system. That doesn't mean I'm bad at this new system. A lot of people interpret it as like, oh, you're gonna be a bad player now. No, if anything, it buffed me. Because now people are not spamming ultimates. Right? You could still spam ultimates, but it's a little more different. People are gonna learn. People are going to learn how to cheese. The reason why I was upset with it is because it does buff Ki Blasts. And a lot of you guys are saying, oh, this patch is so great. It's good. But there are issues that are going to arise. Just like when this game first came out. The first 2 weeks were heaven. Everybody loved the game. It was so fun. Until the players started figuring out different metas and different strategies and cheesy strategies. My viewers figured it out because they are of higher ranks. People of higher ranks will understand the game a little more. So my viewers really knew how to abuse the new mechanics. And I do think this patch is pretty good. It's not bad. Like, I've adapted to it, and I do wish there are certain things that weren't changed, but a lot of people are talking as if it's like perfect now. It feels that way because people just haven't learned the new cheese. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it now because eventually people are gonna find it out. UI Goku and Trunks, very strong because their Ki Blast game is insane. Both of them charge Ki very, very quickly. So they could just throw out their Ki Blasts, charge, throw out their Ki Blasts, charge, and you will get stalled out that way. And that's exactly what I bumped into yesterday when I made that video talking about the new win conditions. You could just get stalled out very easily because it's so difficult to charge Ki against those characters. Those characters do not need to approach you, so they don't care to have 2 Ki bars. But if you want to approach, you need 2 Ki bars. And that could be hard to build up against those characters who just zone you out from charging. And then people will say, oh, you don't need 2 Ki bars, just use the high-speed Dragon Dash. You could do that, but it's so easy to just back away. It's very easy to back away. And I'm sorry if I come off as a doomer saying all of this. I'm not trying to. I'm just telling you straight up what the issues are. That's not to say that there wasn't any issues beforehand. There was a lot of issues beforehand. But yeah, trust me, there's going to be a lot of cheese coming in very soon. Maybe in the next month or so, unless they fix it. we will see how strong it is. So far, I've gone against people who did it to me, like my viewers did it to me, and I don't know, maybe I just don't have the counterplay to it. There probably, as I play the game and face more people who do that, I will probably learn to counter it better. But as of right now, the counterplay to the new cheese doesn't feel as strong as the counterplay to the old cheese. Like the counterplay to the old cheese was just managing your characters, and yeah, it was mainly just managing your characters. That was the best counterplay to a lot of these things, because the cheese just does a lot of damage. But previously, when you switch the characters, you gain back a lot of your health, so they had to do more than just that. They have to engage and pressure. Now with this new patch, you don't have to engage, you don't have to pressure. Okay, my opponent goes into sparking mode. Yeah, I should say the counterplay to Ki Blast spamming, the long range game, is go into sparking mode. So that means you do need a character that could go into sparking mode, instant sparking. It's more important now to have a character that could go into instant spark, in the case if you get zoned out, especially by Trunks or UI Goku. Which I don't think I have well, I have Jace who does that, but Jace is not good. And the reason why you want instant sparking is because you get infinite Z-burst dashes, right? You can just keep Z-burst dashing when in sparking mode, and you're immune to Ki Blasts. So yeah, but because those characters are really strong with their Ki Blast, they could just stop you from going sparking mode. You have to find the spacing for it. And then what? And then what happens if they stall out your sparking mode? Because remember, it's very easy to stall out sparking mode. That's exactly what I did. Every time someone goes into sparking mode, I just stall it out. Sparking mode is very, very strong, so why engage? So those two characters have Ki Blast spam for the whole game, while in order for you to counter it, you need 15 seconds of sparking mode, which they made sparking a little more difficult. But it could be easier to go into sparking mode because you could just spam your Ki Blasts. I mean, not spam your Ki Blasts, you could just deflect their Ki Blasts, because you'll farm skill points from deflecting Ki Blasts. I do feel it's a little, the Vanish Wars, it'll take time for me to adapt to them. But I do like the how they changed the Vanish Wars. The Vanish Wars it goes by really nice, and it actually starts to look hype. But maybe the hype will die down. But I imagine if two players are able to get into a Vanish War in sparking mode and it lasts all throughout sparking mode, that would be very, very hype. So that's probably my favorite change in this update, is the change to the Vanish War. So let's stop criticizing and start talking about the things we like. The sidestep mechanic that they changed, I kind of like it. It's grown on me. You know, it's starting to grow on me. It is a little awkward at times because the iframes are so strong, but I do like that now more people are sidestepping, and that's just more combat variety. And just because sidestepping is more strong doesn't mean it can't be countered. You could counter it, you just gotta play more patiently. With that being said, it is a little frustrating because it could become a freaking sidestepping war. People complained about perception wars, like people just staring at each other holding perception, but you could stop that from spamming Ki Blasts. But now sidestepping does dodge Ki Blasts, so that it's a little weird. I think sidestepping wars is a little more annoying than perception wars, because with perception, at least you could just spam Ki Blast and that'll punish them. But I do like the changes to sidestepping. It makes it a little more interesting and more fun. Here I am, destroying my father-in-law with Gohan. And he rage quits.
Nice.
Okay, these matches, I finally got someone to run the sets with me. Like I said, rage quitting has just been even more rampant after this update. I don't skip the intro because it just gives me more time to yap. And like I said in the patch analysis, it's the calm before the storm. So I'm gonna be that asshole that makes you sit for the extra 10 seconds. But you could immediately tell this guy likes holding perception. He loves holding perception. So that's something I'm gonna have to adapt to. He loves going for the grabs. That's something I need to adapt to as well. You can see I take advantage of short dash key blast, short dash key blast. This time is about slowly closing the distance. But since we're going up against like people who are still adapted, it really depends on who you go up against. Clearly Enma here, Enma Gomez, my opponent, wants to throw hands, but when he throws hands, he just wants to hold perception, right? So that's his play style. But if you go up against someone who just wants to zone you out, this slow approach of short dash key blast, short dash key blast, it's very easy to just back away from people who do that, right? It's happened to me. I've had players back away from me constantly, and it gets very frustrating. And then if I try to sit and charge key, they'll throw a key blast at me, and then they just stall timeout, and then they wait for the 60 seconds so they could glitch the health bars. But yeah, it's the zoning game has been buffed greatly because the Z-burst dash was nerfed. But I've been trying to adapt to it. If you guys have any adaptations to it, let me know. I would love to know if you guys have found ways to stop people from zoning you out. Which, like I said, the most efficient way to do it is probably not efficient. The strongest way to do it is probably just use instant spark or find spacing to charge all the way up to sparking. But that's a conditional counter. I would like a counter that doesn't require that many conditions, and it's a temporary counter too. It's only 15 seconds sparking mode. And nobody said that the guy isn't able to throw hands, right? And if you come across someone who's just using zoning characters and can throw hands, that is very scary, right? So let's say you do successfully make an approach. They throw hands and then just back away. And then rinse and repeat, and then it could be a very, very frustrating game. Very frustrating game. I think, in my opinion, I don't know. The patch is new. Maybe it won't be as frustrating down the line. But I feel like I'm more frustrated with this than I was before this patch. Because what a lot of people did previously was that they spammed Insta Spark. And yeah, that's a very annoying tool, and it's a very strong tool. But at least it was only like 15 seconds, right? It wasn't too much. It wasn't for too long. And then once it's over, you just switch your character, you heal up whatever damage they did. But now with the zoning thing, oh man, it's very strong. It's very, very strong. People who disagree with me just haven't come across it yet. And of course you're not going to come across it. People are still taking time to learn the new cheese. The cheesers will come back, trust me. They will come back. Unless they quit the game. Who knows, maybe they quit the game. But I found the spacing to transform with my Gohan. Transformations are a little more risky now. There is a risk reward to them. There was a risk reward to them before, but now since there is basically more meaningful damage, meaning you can't regenerate as much health, so damage just means more now. Yeah, you don't really want to be locked in for that long, so there is a higher risk to transforming, but the reward is that you could do more meaningful damage now. So I still try to transform. But if my Gohan got damaged a lot, I probably won't transform because I won't have the chance to regenerate that health. And like right here, he transforms to SS3. Yeah, there's a mismatch now with his Jace against his SS3 Goku, but I was already approaching and I have a full health. I'm full health and he's locked in for about maybe 35 to 40 seconds. Not a good transformation there on his part. Maybe he'll do more overall damage in this 1v1 between my Jace and his Goku, but it doesn't matter. He was low health, and maybe I'm gonna finish him here. Let's see if he gets a super counter off. I messed up my combo, but I just finished him with Ki Blast, and he shouldn't have transformed there. I don't agree with that. So it's still very important to choose characters that can transform, but are still good in their base form. Right? It's even more important that their base form is good, because you're not going to have as many opportunities to transform that now. And that only makes characters like giant characters more strong. So maybe it's best that you start with a high DP character, but there's a risk to that as well. So I think team building is a little, I don't know if it's better, but it's different. Team building now is a lot different. I guess you could say it's better because I mean, as of right now, there's a lot of variety because people are still figuring things out. It's like a lot of the players forgot what it was like when the game first came out. Of course, there was a lot of variety when the game first came out because people are learning it. Now that they overhauled this game, basically, yes, you're gonna see a lot of variety because people are trying to figure out the new meta. Give it a week or two and you won't see that much variety anymore. Maybe a month, I don't know. Is that doomerish of me to say? I don't know. I don't mean to come off as doomerish. I'm just speaking my opinion, right? I'm not saying things just to sound depressing or anything. And I don't think it's depressing if there's a meta characters. Every game has meta characters, right? And that's my point, is that a lot of people are happy that I don't know, maybe people are happy that it's going to be different meta characters. People were unhappy with Roshi and Pan or Videl. I don't know. People are like, oh, nobody wants to see those characters. Then don't play this game. A big marketing thing for this game was that you have all these side characters that are not as important in the main cast. And then when they watch Dragon Ball, they're probably going to be like, oh, this is just a Goku and Vegeta show. Where's the other characters? Where's Launch? Where's Launch? And then when you see someone play a character in this game like Roshi, oh, why are you playing Roshi? Nobody cares about Roshi. The fandom is so split. It's kind of funny. But I win that first game. A lot of games still end up in a timeout, especially when you guys are equal in skill. And a lot of people were commenting saying that they nerfed my playstyle. Not really. My playstyle was throwing hands. It just had a lot of switching in it because that was the way to counter a lot of the high damage cheese that went on. And the reason why I counterplayed it is because my opponents wouldn't throw hands. And that's the main issue in this update, is that you could get a lot of damage off without throwing hands. That's basically a good way to summarize why I summarize my issues with it. I was gonna say why I don't like. No, I don't. It's not that I don't like this patch. I actually really like it. It's just a few issues that if you go up against certain players, it will be really bad. Okay, he transforms to SS3. Better transformation this time because he was a lot more healthy. I have a Z-Burst Dash at my disposal. One of the strengths of androids is that they do come in with more resources. So you do have one Z-Burst Dash at your disposal, and that could mean a lot. If you use your Z-Burst Dash really intelligently, you could get a lot of damage off from that, and you'll get a positive feedback loop. But here is the issue with androids, is that if you're not using your Ki Blast very intelligently, they could set up on you. Which maybe it's best that you start with androids on point, and then once you see they have enough skill points to set up on you, you switch to a new character that is able to stall out their sparking mode, switch back in your android, and just rinse and repeat the zoning game. That's how you could probably best win games. Of course, I don't do that, but I'm just telling you guys how the game is designed. And I set up a key charge there. Like I said earlier, now it's more important to know when you could set up a key charge. Before, I would just knock people away and just stare at them and think what I want to do. But now I knock people away and immediately charge, or I try to at least. But if I do engage with them, I try my best to keep them engaged. I keep them close to me. If I do knock them back, it's the charge key and that's it. And sometimes the lightning strike attack will still put them at a distance, and that's when you either switch a character to close the distance or you charge Ki. So that's another thing you could do to close distance that is rather free. You could switch your character in after an attack, and then it'll close the distance. What you can also do is throw a charged Ki Blast. If that charged Ki Blast hits, your character that you switch in will follow up. The thing is that since it's from distance, it's kind of hard to tell if your Ki Blast is going to hit. So yeah, and also the thing with switching your characters in and out is that you might put yourself in a bad situation. Like, let's say for example you're going up against a 10 DP character, and then you try to do that, and then you switch in your Cell Jr. That's not good. That is not a good matchup. But 10 DP characters will probably be pretty strong now, because 10 DP characters with a lot of Ki are very scary, and it's not that hard to charge up a lot of Ki now. I had a viewer yesterday, I believe he's in the A rank, and he just wiped the floor with me and other Z rankers with Whis. And then I had one viewer finally just do it, and he used a 10 DP character of his own, and he was able to win. So they made this game mode a little more like how singles was previously, and funnily enough they made singles a lot more fun now, because Insta Spark is not as viable. I don't want to say it's not as viable, as I pop Insta Spark. It's not as common to use Instant Spark anymore. But 10 like high DP characters now in this game mode are a lot stronger, and some people are probably really happy with that. But I think one of the most fun things about DP previously was that you could make the low DP, the low DP characters very viable. They were meta, and I think that was fun. I loved seeing Master Roshi shine. I loved seeing Videl shine. I loved seeing these characters that in the show that don't shine, they did shine. And I loved seeing that. I don't know why there were so many haters to it. The only reason why there were a lot of haters to it was because they lost to it, right? People say, oh, play your favorite character when it comes to DP. Okay, go to singles if you want people playing their favorite characters, because a lot of people's favorite characters are SS4 Gogeta, the Fusions, Goku, MUI Goku. You know, so it's just some weird catch-22 that's going on. People don't hate the low DP characters. They hate losing, right? And then they'll say that they don't hate losing. No, you just hate losing. That's it. And I understand that. I understand you hate losing. I hate losing too. But I'm not gonna hate on a character for that. Just hate on the mechanics. Why hate on the character? And then people will also say, oh, you definitely don't like this character. What if he does like it? What if someone did genuinely like Videl? Because I'm sure there are many people who do. What if someone genuinely liked Master Roshi? Gohan is genuinely my favorite character. Lucky for me, he was meta. So I didn't play him because he was meta. I played him because he was my favorite character. But you guys already know, I like every Dragon Ball character. Like, there's like, I don't know, like there's no reason for me to not want to play someone. Like if I like playing them, at this point it's just like, do they play smoothly? Do they play for my play style? This is a fighting game, right? I'm sure a lot of people don't know about Street Fighter lore, but if they play Street Fighter, they'll just play whatever fighter feels most smooth for their play style. It's the same concept here. I played certain characters because they felt more smooth for me. I never played Videl or Roshi because they just never felt smooth, even though they were extremely meta at one point. I don't want to say I don't play Roshi. I play buff Roshi, but I don't play small Roshi, because buff Roshi played very smoothly for my playstyle. But now, as you guys can tell, I'm not using as many jacked and stacked characters anymore. The jacked and stacked characters were kind of nerfed from how strong zoning can be now. The reason being is because like I'm showing you guys, short dash, charged Ki Blast is a pretty good zoning strat, and characters who take literally almost half of a key bar to do a short dash, probably not good. And there are speed characters who could do like a dash 12 times with one key bar, but those characters are very squishy. So, and you don't have as much health regen in this with these new updates. So key archetype characters are probably your best bang for buck because you get 4 short dashes in 1 key bar. So you could still do that zoning method, and they're not as squishy as speed characters. So maybe speed characters will be better at zoning? I'm not sure. I mean, MUI Goku and Trunks are key archetypes. It's what makes them really strong are their unique key blasts. Okay, let's watch this gameplay. I am adapting to the Vanish Wars. I still mess them up from time to time. It starts getting pretty difficult on the 3rd or 4th Vanish. It starts going really fast. I have yet to get into like a massive Vanish War. I think I did once on my stream yesterday, but it wasn't massive. It was like maybe 5 or 6. And that was the longest Vanish War I've had so far. But I am playing Android 16 because he does have perpetual key gain, so it's cool that he's a jacked and stacked character because the perpetual key gain carries him. So he could still zone despite taking a lot of key to short dash around. And you can see I'm just zoning him out. When I'm in mid or long distance, it's just zoning them out. And a lot of people said there was that there was no neutral game with Z-Burst dashing before. There was a lot of neutral game, it just wasn't as strong. And I don't know, do you guys think that was an issue, that neutral game from long distance wasn't as strong? There was a lot of neutral game up close, a ton of neutral game up close. But from long distance, you could still get zoned out. Like, watch the tournaments, people got zoned out despite the Z-Burst dashing being 1 key bar. If you watch the tournaments, people got zoned out hard. Wait, does Android 16 consume only a quarter of a key bar? Maybe he isn't a jacked and stacked archetype. I need to carefully watch this again. I always just assumed. I think he does take a little more key. I think there are some people, I think Raccoon, you can only do 2 short dashes with 1 key bar. Some characters could do 3. So it's a little weird. I think Android 16 could do 3. I'm waiting for myself to short dash. But I think Android 16 is probably the most underrated Android. Android 16 is like Mike Tyson, man. He likes birds, he likes pigeons, and he's a tank, man. Yeah, you can see me take advantage of sidestepping now. And that's how you stop people from perceptioning. I don't know, I think I asked this earlier, but super countering just has been feeling so much easier. And yeah, it just feels like people are super countering me all the time. I use a revenge counter to keep in the engagement. Luckily, he doesn't perception it. Like, in that possession, he was in... he should have perceptioned my revenge counter, but he probably wasn't reacting to it. Wasn't expecting it, I should say. That's another change I really don't like, but luckily a lot of players don't think to do it anyway. But if they do think to do it, that is very annoying because it's just not worth using a revenge counter, and that if people start to adapt to it. Because if you perception a revenge counter, you gain 1 key bar, and it only costs 1 skill point. Whereas they spent 2 skill points trying to do a revenge counter. So it's kind of crazy. And if you're going up against a good player, they probably revenge countered for a reason. They want to stay in the engagement. When you perception it, you knock them back, so you're ruining their game plan. I wish they buffed lift strike combos. Because it's so easy to perception the lift strike combo. It's best to do it when you have their back. But you could see earlier in these matches that I couldn't land my lift strike combos because he kept perceptioning them. But since he's holding perception, I'm just gonna shoot Ki Blast at him. Luckily, androids could spam Ki Blast very easily. And yeah, you can see, for example, the lift strike combo gets perceptioned. Yep, he's holding perception again. Just sidestep it. He gets a super counter off. I win the Vanish Boar. Nice setup on the instant spark by him. He recognized the situation. I get hit by this because I started throwing Ki Blasts out, which was really stupid by me. Because he's in sparking mode. Ki Blast, he's immune to Ki Blast, so I don't know why it's just habit, right? You can see how strong some habits, like, that's why it's important to realize situations and then realize which habits you need to stop doing in certain situations. I should not have been throwing Ki Blasts out there because it would have been useless anyway. That's kind of funny to think about. But here's the health switching glitch. Since he did it to me, I'm doing it to him. I don't know if he's doing it intentionally, but I think I deserve to win this game regardless. So yeah. But I do know how to pressure people because in the game before this update, pressuring people was super important. So I do know how to pressure people and stop them from switching. So this glitch with the last 60 seconds, at least my skills still do carry over to this, to avoiding or counterplaying this glitch. But I do hope it's actually a glitch and not some intended mechanic, right? Because I was theorizing with my stream yesterday that there is no way they missed something this bad. Like almost everyone within an hour of playing noticed this problem, and it's just like, okay, do they have people playtesting it? It's like there's no way this got out without being recognized or realized. And then I started thinking, hey, what if they did it intentionally? Oh, we don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's happening on the last 60 seconds. That's a very crucial landmark in the time. What if that's their way of doing a comeback mechanic? You know, we all know comeback mechanics are kind of inherently broken. What if that's a comeback mechanic? Oh my gosh, that would be so bad. I hope it's a glitch and not an intended mechanic. And even if it's an intended mechanic, they could still change it. You know, it doesn't have to stay that way. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, if you guys liked the video, then like the video, subscribe. If you guys learned something, like and subscribe. Have a good day, you guys.